And for the first time on the international stage, the LPL's Anyone's Legend. And here we are, North America represented on this Canadian stage for the first time, taking on the first seed from the LPL. Kobe, how are you feeling?
Oh man, I am so excited for this one. I personally love being the underdogs, so that just gives me more excitement here for FLYQuest. This team really started to make people believe last year at MSI, but then also last year at Worlds, pushing Gen G to 5 games. And I was really happy when FLYQuest announced that they were keeping the entire roster together this year so that they could build and improve on what we saw last year for this moment. Yeah, back on another MSI stage.
I mean, last year at MSI was a little bit of a failure for FLYQuest, getting knocked out in planes. But as you say, Worlds is great. They're one of the teams with the longest standing rosters currently in League of Legends as well, or at least on the World stage, as you say, because they kept that roster together. The question is it enough to take down Anyone's Legend, who, even if you haven't heard about them, because as a team they haven't been on the international stage before, they have a lot of very well-known names on this roster.
They certainly do. Of course, it is going to be a really uphill battle, but it's going to be an exciting one to watch. A lot of people, of course, really focused on jungle. Tarzan with his Zed play, winning finals MVP, going up against Inspired, who was our MVP in North America of the finals as well as the entire split. And both of them being such big communicators and big leaders for their team as well, has got to be an all-star matchup.
Yeah, I think jungle support is really where my eyes are going to be. And obviously, the rest of the map is going to be explosive as well. Bwipo into Flandre. We saw an interview from Flandre just the other day talking about how Bwipo is the Western player he is most excited to play against because Bwipo brings out these unique picks. And I think when we get into draft, it's going to be really interesting to see how things switch up.
Yeah, 100% agree. Draft here should be crazy. Tabe is really well known for his creativity, as is FLYQuest. Plus, you mentioned it, you know, jungle and support. Yeah, Busio, last time at MSI, it was a rough tournament for him, but he has improved so much since then, last year at Worlds, as well as this year in North America. So very excited for him to get to show up on this stage as well. And let's get right into that draft. So far here, targeting quad specific Cassiopeia pick. Now that might signal that Shanks does want to go for his Rise. Very popular pick for him. Very good at it. And quad, of course, he is known to be a very good Cassiopeia player. So sometimes trying to open that up.
I think it was banned against FLYQuest in around 65% of their games in the LTA North. So not really surprising that Anyone's Legends don't want to put it on the board for game one. Poppy, the final ban from FLYQuest. They've got rid of Twisted Fate and Vi. Tabe and Anyone's Legends have removed the Varus, the Cassio, and the Azir. Talia is the immediate first lock for AM.
Yeah, huge priority pick right there. Snatches it up. What's going to be our answers here for FLYQuest? So much available in game number one. Bwipo already smiling. Of course, they are red side, so probably going to leave his pick for last.
It's an early Orianna. Lee Sin hovered by Inspired. Canyon had an absolute storm over performance on it yesterday.
Sure, we did.
I will say we haven't seen it from Inspired yet this year. We have seen Nidalee from FLYQuest, but it tends to err up towards the top side rather than in that jungle role.
All right, and so the AD jungler of choice this time around, with all of them really available here, is the Pantheon. And I do like this one a lot because you want to break up Talia Pantheon. That is a very powerful combo, but it does give you some global to answer. The problem with it a lot of times, though, is that it is hard to operate over Talia rocks. The E is just so powerful, so sometimes it can make it annoying for Pantheon, you know, who does rely on the jump for his stun. But we'll see if Inspired can work around that.
It's often just really hard to get into range of that Talia. Now, with the Rumble locked in already for Anyone's Legend, we are looking towards that counter pick for Bwipo. Something that FLYQuest have in their arsenal is Bwipo's unique picks. Galio into Rumble, not too unique, but still a very strong pick in that top lane matchup.
Yeah, definitely one of the most common up here, and one that they have used before, so the Galio pick here to answer the Rumble, and again, that is going to be 2 globals now for them, 2-1. Let's see as we get down to the bottom lane here, though. Everything, again, still on the table. With the Rumble long range here, you know, maybe they want to index into some Jhin or something like that for Hope. They definitely need some more CC and some structure on that team there for AL.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. They have a good poke, they have an okay engage, but really they're looking for a little bit of range from their AD carrier, then obviously something powerful in terms of engaging from their support role. I wonder if maybe they'll look to get rid of the Rakan, because I look at Orianna, Pantheon, Galio, Rakan, that's a very strong all-in combination if FlyQuest can get it. Instead, AL will ban out the Lucian to kick things off, Alistar removed by FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely a good ban there. Masu has proven that he deserves his Lucian card. As we whittle it down more too, something with mobility, trying to take away some of the extra safety possibilities there. Ezreal also is definitely a big one, still up.
The thing is, at this point, because both the bot lanes are open and because bot lanes can do quite a few different things in the meta right now, it's quite hard to actually predict exactly what these teams are going to ban away. I agree with you. Targeting out Masu with the Lucian is good. Targeting out Hope with the Kalista is good as well, especially with the safety that gives Kael in being aggressive. There's the Ezreal banned away from anyone's legend.
I think good ban right there. All right, let's see. Assuming we're just going to grab our AD carry here and save the support for final support counter pick. I mean, I guess, of course, technically we can leave it open. The Pantheon could be swapped over if they wanted to get really, really crazy here in game number one. Definitely doubt that's going to be the case here, though. So let's see what Masu does want to go for. Like Kaisa, Misfortune, both available. Possible options. Oh, they are going to hide it even more.
I mean, I love the zone control this team fight has and the combo it has as well from FlyQuest. So getting the red early to pick it away from anyone's legend as well kind of makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Deny that from Kael. That is a big denial there. Plus, since you're picking it early here in Fearless, not going to be ready for the rest of it. There you go, instant.
Xayah Rakan makes so much sense here.
Now you get your engage, your Rakan here, so quick with it.
And also, the Xayah has self-peel, which I think is so vital against this FlyQuest composition. They have great dive, they have really good one-shot potential, but a Featherstorm negates the majority of that if it's all funneled at the same time. Obviously, FlyQuest can use their tools a little bit more judiciously, but if they do go all in, it's hard for them to kill off this Xayah.
Yeah, and I think that FlyQuest probably should be looking to try and go some front to back. Problem is, of course, you know, Xin Zhao with the ultimate is kind of hard to get through, but there's no like true, really tanky champion on AL right now. So that might be the angle there for FlyQuest. If they can get some of those big wombo combos, don't tunnel too hard on like diving the Xayah and try and kill whoever is in front.
It's going to be an interesting matchup across the board here. Love what both the team comps are trying to do. I think both teams have actually gained the tools that they would usually like in a draft as well. The ability to initiate fights, the ability to disengage fights, and that's kind of what these two teams do best. I will note the Rumble for Flandre, 7-0 on the year. It is a very strong pick for the guy. And although the Galio is a bit of a counter in the laning phase, the Rumble can still do a lot of work if he gets even slightly ahead.
Yeah, especially because the two carries that he's playing into is the Orianna and the Senna there. So neither of them can just jump off your ultimate there for Rumble. Assuming as well, Rakan gonna try and keep him on. But here we go, Nuke Duck and Tabe. Starting it off here with draft number 1.
There's a certain energy in the room today with FlyQuest playing up in front of their Canadian fans with Masu's family in the audience as well. There's an electricity here in the Pacific Coliseum, and we'll see if FlyQuest can live up to that expectation that is building around them.
Yeah, I mean, that one, my eyes already started watering up, seeing his message to his family. And Masu really has been such a star for North America as soon as he joined the league, you know, winning Rookie of the Year and having good performances. You know, even though they did get knocked out of MSI last year, he still showed no fear on the international stage. And we're starting out with Whippo here taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Tarzan's going to chase him down. Whippo with a Justice Punch. Might have to burn the flash here. Shank's still on the chase as well. Whippo flashes into the pit, we assume, and Tarzan will chase him down. Bwipo no tools to get away from this one. Tarzan charges forward and claims first blood.
Oh, yeah, not fooling anybody with that one. That is a death and a flash. That is so big for AL. Now, too, it really changes the Galio into Rumble matchup here. This is going to be so difficult for Bwipo to play out, even though he's gone for the phase rush, so you can try and do your trades and then use the phase rush to get away from Harpoon slows. But it's going to be a vulnerability now. You really have to worry. Is there going to be a Talia roam up there? Is there going to be a gank from Tarzan?
And against a team like Anyone's Legend as well, who've been led by Tabe, you always have to worry because they're so good at finding those weaknesses.
Yeah, and they're showing on screen right now some of the success stories for Tabe. All these teams just get so much better so quickly when he joins them. First with RNG, double MSI victories for him, then with BLG, getting MSI second place, Worlds quarterfinals, and now with Anyone's Legend, going to back-to-back finals and winning in summer finals. This guy has such a good track record, really causing the teams he joins to jump up the standings.
Knock up onto Hope here. Ghost has been popped by Masu as he trades onto Kyle, but should be fine here for the Anyone's Legend bot lane. He can sustain up through the Gleaming Quill if Kyle manages to land that in the lane. Both bot lanes hit level 2 at the same time, so no force from either team.
Yeah, nothing quite yet. Bwipo pushing in really quickly to try and get some deeper vision because he knows he could be a possible target. Of course, Tarzan started on the top side, so it's going to be a top-down clear for him. Maybe visit a little bit later. But the extra money for Tarzan also not spent, so isn't going to be combat extra power for him off of that level 1 just yet.
Does mean that he should be able to get towards his first item a little bit quicker. Often you want to go back for something like the pickaxe on those AD junglers. We'll see where he goes after his clear, or whether he looks for an early gank. Xin obviously very good at finding those early ganks, similarly to Pantheon. Both the junglers pathing towards the same side. And looks like Hope able to dodge away from the crash down from Busio. Masu unable to land the last rites. No root coming out, but both the heals used. In the end will just be a trade of summoners.
Okay, both answered here. Trading fairly effectively. Inspired looks mid first.
Pops the oracles. Obviously could see the outline of the Talia across the wall, but can't find much more. He's going to path towards the top side. Doesn't have push in bot, so it would be hard for him to contest that bot side Scuttle Crab.
Exactly. He's got no business down there on the bot side of the map. You know, they're running the Senna. The Senna, of course, scales fairly slowly after the nerf. We've seen some games so far here at the tournament, actually, with very low soul counts early on. So we'll keep track of how well Masu is able to stack that.
They're currently at 9. Usually you're looking for about 60 at 20 minutes. That's a good threshold to be at. Obviously really influenced by how much you lane against your lane opponents, right? If you're laning into top, if you're swapping consistently to get out of bad matchups, it's a lot harder to get those souls, even if it's a little bit easier for you to lane as a player. Quad taking a bit of a chunk, but Shanks will just path away. Quad should be able to farm up that wave underneath his tower.
All right, looked like Bwipo getting off his recall as well, and that flash timer still ticking down for him. So he actually avoids kind of the second clear there, where since Tarzan started on the top side, they're kind of aware he's going to be back up there at this timer. So it is nice to get that little swap out here. He's teleporting down for their swap.
Looks like Busio is going to stay around just to help get this wave pushed in. It keeps Hope and Kyle in the lane a little bit longer as well, so we have to see what that tempo mismatch does. Busio crashes down away. Hope and Kyle should be able to get the wave in. There's one more wave coming forward. They might want to try and push this in as well.
And I will say, the big thing, even though it wasn't on screen, if you look at the top minion wave, because Flandre up there on Rumble was able to shove that all the way into the turret, a lot of minions died there. So Masu is really going to be the one suffering during this swap. He missed out on a decent amount of those because of the timing where they go for it, and Flandre doing a good job there on Rumble. Yeah,
Flandre actually pathing back towards the top side here as well, so not going to invest his TP. That means there'll be a teleport advantage for Anyone's Legend if they do want to fight around this Drake. You can see Bwipo recalling out a bot. I wonder if he's just going to path back towards top and we'll have the lane swapped back to normality.
Yeah,
basically. Looks like not.
Basically, the early gold lead is kind of those minions that we did see go down and kind of lost there. So, he's got flash.
Shadowing Strike's going to land. Last Embrace coming out as well for the root, but as you say, he still has the flash. Jump onto Quad in the mid lane here as Kyle gets the knock-up with the Grand Entrance. We won't find much more. Just chunking out Quad is good when you're contesting an objective like the Drake.
And since FLYQuest have committed their duo up to the top side, of course they're making the call. We're not going to go anywhere near that. That is yours, Tarzan. That is yours, AL. Don't you worry about it. They should be well aware of the possibility of a cross map, and they are. So we do get the Spellbook Recon using teleport to go cover.
Unsealed Spellbook gives you so much more flexibility. The jump comes in, Inspired there. Flandre flashes away. Inspired flashes out of tower range, but Flandre is still alive. And Masu takes an extra tower shot. The spear not enough to pierce through Flandre's defenses, but Masu just needs an auto attack. Scrap shield. Busio will get it. FlyQuest on the board. The knockup though coming out from Kyle. The heal enough to keep Busio alive.
And it's a good dive there from FlyQuest. They make it happen, even with the flash there from Flandre. Looks like there's going to be no answer quite yet. Even though Talia Wall is a possibility, they do it quick enough that Shanks can't go pick anything up afterwards.
Busio surviving by the skin of his teeth right there. I like the play from FlyQuest though. Giving up the Ghost on the Drake really early, deliberately playing towards that top side and juggling the aggro really well as well. Busio obviously almost falling, but let's have another look. Yeah,
Inspired, of course, the big shot caller for the team. He's the one that started out, as you say, just after the shield expires. Then, even though the flash pulls out, they had the root onto Flandre, and Inspired's able to hit one more Q there to get him low enough that the duo can then go finish it off. Even with his scrap shield, Busio, nice little flip over the back into the stun there. The extra tower shot, as you were saying, does force the heal again, but thankfully for them, you know, that had come back off of cooldown from the previous use.
Yeah, it looks like we have a slight bug with the summoner spells at the bottom.
That definitely was a heal.
That heal is definitely used from Busio, so don't let that deceive you. He's running Aftershock, not Unsealed Spellbook as well, so won't have that up for a little while time. Kyle now hitting level 6 alongside Hope. We have some grubs to play for in 5 seconds time. With anyone's Legend getting the first neutral on the board, they can get these grubs as well. They're well on their way to the feats of warfare.
They are. A lot of really deep vision, too. If you look at the mini-map here for AL, yeah, invested a lot. Kyle here is a superstar for this team. You were talking about it at the very beginning, but jungle and support. Let's see Kyle himself, actually.
Whippo pushing through the bot side with Inspired around the corner on this red buff as well. Tarzan's beginning to collapse. Flandre obviously no flash, puts the equalizer down. Inspired gets the smite, gets the red, and gets the star ball, but the Crescent Guard will knock him back. Trying to get in range to get to this blast cone, but the chase will continue from anyone's Legend. The blast cone only knocks Inspired up, and down he goes as Tarzan gets his second.
Nice invade there from AL. Again, this is the kind of weak half of the map for FlyQuest since their duo is up on the top side. So nice little punish there from AL.
It's interesting from FlyQuest because it felt like they were expecting AL to go for the grubs, and so they're like, okay, we'll invade the red side, we'll steal this away, and then maybe we'll look for the dive on the Rumble. But they just didn't have enough vision control around that top side to know what AL were doing.
Yeah, and it's really good there from Kyle, from Tarzan here on AL to recognize, go trap them, and after that, then you have the luxury. You can go get the grubs afterwards.
You can. For the moment, though, FlyQuest still with a small gold lead. Likely through plate, although Whippo's farm, actually having a look at it right now, 84 to 58. Flandre having to deal with that 2v1 situation in the top side has struggled a little bit. Busio going in, here's the Grand Starfall as well, onto Tarzan. Good double seismic shove. Tarzan's going to jump onto Masu. Hope trying to join the fight as Tarzan heals up a little bit. Inspired still on the chase. The Shockwave pulls Tarzan back and it's an even scoreline at 2 for 2.
All right, so they get a kill, but again, the objective's already taken there for AL, so they already got the dragon, already picking up those grubs. Bottom side, another little bit of a fight. Just going to be a little damage exchange, though.
Flandre going overheated, still trading well onto Whippo. Quad force out by Shanks again. That dreaded volley doing so much work, especially with the big one. Quad force underneath the tower here. You can see that Kyle is on his way across, but there's an Inspired in the vicinity. And Busio on his way up towards top as well to defend. Yeah,
it looks like after the respawn there too, Tarzan with his completed, wait a second, as we get a little scrapping here, but him up to the top side of the map too.
A lot of players on anyone's Legend in their first international tournament as well. Kyle and Shanks haven't been here before. Obviously Flandre, the most decorated player with that world's title back with EDG.
Yeah. And Tabe himself, too, as a player, got to play in Season 3 finals with Uzi. So he has had just such a long career, very illustrious. He even actually, at the very beginning when NA was the only one with servers, he played on NA servers with us. He's been playing the game for a very long time, and he's kept his passion up that entire time. Meanwhile, though, back into this game, they still have their objective lead, but the gold fairly close because of that extra trap kill that they were able to grab. It's just that with the kills both being on Tarzan, a little bit more focused move here, and they have been able to complete his first item here.
But so has Inspired. They're both on Sundered Sky and those free boots. Only a single jungle snack really differentiating the two junglers right now, and only 150 gold lead for Tarzan over Inspired. Next Drake up in 10 seconds time, and you can see FlyQuest and Anyone's Legend moving their bot lane into mid, trying to get control of this wave. The static shiv complete for Masu will help him push this out a little bit.
Here first.
Inspired is here first. Kyle looking for the grand entrance, dodges away with the battle dance and gets the second out as well, but Kyle low is good for FlyQuest. They can start to set up around the Drake once again.
A little chunk of damage here. It looks like the roam comes down really early from Shanks too. So if it is going to be an answer for Quad, he will have to invest his teleport.
There it is.
Going to have to do it early.
Kyle going into the pit, Inspired immediately jumps on him, and Kyle makes a hasty retreat, flashes away from the piercing darkness. The Weaver's Wall separates AL from FlyQuest. Not really the distinction you wanted to make. Shanks TPing away as FlyQuest take the Drake, even it out at one apiece.
Yeah, nice little moves from FlyQuest. It's first the setup play for them, Inspired there first, on that control ward in the brush, getting just a bit of a chunk of HP, and then the little check here, also forcing the flash, and Masu investing the ulti, but the answer...
Shanks does have flash here, but across the wall lies a Quad, and he's going to flash straight into him. Quad with the shockwave will pull him back, and Inspired lies in wait in the jungle, claims the feat of warfare for FlyQuest.
Nice use of the global here, and it actually...
Grand entrance is going to land the knock-up here. Busio, the shield from the crash down already down. Masu coming across, can heal up Busio a little bit, and will force Tarzan and Kyle away.
FlyQuest playing the map well here, answering the moves from AL. Like he's just getting the minion wave here.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to kill Whippo, but Whippo might try and turn this one around. Doesn't really have a huge amount of mana and goes through his cooldowns without breaking through that scrap shield of Flandre.
Really nice to see for the best of 5 series here, though, with it going very closely here in FlyQuest, being able to answer a lot of these moves. Kyle here.
Unsword spellbook, boys. Yeah. That's what you can do with it. Kyle smites away the red buff. And yeah, as you say, actually, a really close start to game one. FlyQuest punching back as much as they are taking jabs. And for Anyone's Legend, they'll be okay with this situation, right? It's only small gold deficits. Rumble will still be able to do work, but I do want to give kudos to FlyQuest for how well they pushed Flandre behind in this early game.
And let's get back to what we were talking about in Champ Select, because Anyone's Legend, they don't have pure tank on their team, right? So they have to play around like Xin Zhao immunity or really quick plays there with Rakan. And FlyQuest already show a little bit of what we are talking about, where they won't over-focus on diving and they can try and go through frontline, get chunks on the Rakan when he comes in, or maybe even Flandre. But it's going to be here first about these side lanes, because the tower's still fairly healthy throughout the Rift right now and hasn't really opened up yet.
No tower yet taken by either of these two teams. Next objective, the Rift held in 30 seconds time. You can see, once again, Kyle trying to get a little bit of vision around it, but this time FlyQuest have a bit of vision of their own. It is superficial. It's defensive is a better word for it, as it's mostly placed in their own jungle. Busio will step forward with Masu now that Inspired's on this side of the map, knowing he has a little bit of extra freedom because of the support that can come through. Inspired's ultimate about to come back off cooldown.
Yeah, as they wait for it, the tension building and the arrival of that Rift Trail. Fighting over the vision, that brush is always my most important objective to look for. Get that control ward in the brush through river. But Inspired actually plants himself yet again really early on brush vision.
Yeah, Shanks' spidey sense was tingling there, though. Immediately chucks a threaded volley into the bush as soon as Tarzan is in place to defend him. A center stack check, it's 41 right now at 15 minutes, which is very solid here from Masu. He's been farming those up well through this early game. As we said before, 60 at 20 is kind of the benchmark we expect from elite AD carries, and Masu well on his way to that.
Yeah, it looks like kind of hover up halfway through the river too. You saw Bwipo moving there on the Galio, thinking they might have some sort of scrap, but After the vision just goes the other way, they do back off, goes right back to lane, and now Tarzan does start it up.
Problem for FLYQuest is Busio has just finished his recall. And so anyone's Legend do have an opportunity here to sneak this away before Busio can really join the fight. Whippo has TP, as does Flandre, but neither of the top laners investing it as of yet. Flandre about to recall. Masu looking for an engage. There's the Weaver's Wall, and anyone's Legend will steal this away. The Grand Star fall onto the wrong side of it. Galio coming in with a hero's entrance as well. Hope pops the Feather Storm. Shanks putting the damage down onto Inspired, but he's in a 2v1 at the top of the pit. Inspired falling low, still has 400 health to work with. Kyle going in as well as Inspired gets the Sun to Sky proc and will heal himself back up. He flashes over the back of the pit, and anyone's Legend, you got the Rift Herald, but you don't get much else. Tarzan flashes in. Wind becomes lightning, and Bwipo becomes dead. And not Bwipo, Inspired becomes dead as Bwipo's on the chase. Tarzan forced back through the jungle and should fall here.
Yeah, I mean, he is trying to take it out like this on two sides.
1v1 Hope!
This is crazy! This fight got so spread out on two different sides, each of them going to the opposite side of the map. In the end, they do get Tarzan on the other side. FlyQuest collects so much money there in the back of the pit. So tanky, and you can see we're gonna have to get the review there in the replay, because looking up on the pit there, you know, so much sustain. Inspired gaining so much time there in the back, stacking up the Conqueror, getting those Sundered Sky procs in the end, causing the flash there to have to be invested by Tarzan. But I want to now this time look at the bottom side of the play here, because Talia Wall did start it out to try and split them up, and that's why it was so split. Inspired and just Bwipo up on the top side with that Galio ultimate, getting that knocked up, buying that time, and Shanks kind of trapped there in the back of the pit. But on the bottom side, they forced Hope's flash there as Busio was able to move him off, and Inspired is able to gain some distance, but as you know, the flash answer is over the top. This just changes so much for the game, though. You know, as scrappy as it gets, that is a lot of money in kills, and FlyQuest do have a very good team fight.
It's 2,000 gold lead now for FlyQuest. They are in prime position in this game. Anyone's Legend did get the Rift Herald. The Drake, though, will be secured by FlyQuest. That's their second of the game. Bwipo so tanky here as well. And just coming back to that play around the Rift Herald, I want to give so much credit to Quad and to Busio. They distracted Hope and Kyle and Tarzan for so long. And you can see why people have some doubts in FlyQuest in this series. 25 to 68, the all-time win rate for NA versus the LPL. Yeah. They have won one series out of 8. That was back in 2019 MSI when TL beat IG. Yeah. I was going to say CLG, but they got to the other
side. You should remember that one, because then you took us down very quickly.
Yes, but
afterwards.
As an EU caster, I tend not to think about 2019. It's my general way of being.
So definitely a lot riding on this. You know, a lot of pressure for both teams, honestly, here. FlyQuest, though, coming in underdogs with a lead, 2 dragons, and a very good kind of beefy team comp setup. And they've got a lot of options because of the extra globals that they do have. So once we do get towers down on the side lanes too, I think it should be okay for them.
20 minutes in, or 19, and still yet to see a tower fall is pretty ridiculous when you think about modern day League of Legends. Often we have those traded early on in the game. Still the Rift Herald in Tarzan's pocket if anyone's Legends want to force one of those towers down.
Yeah. Plus, we have to mention here with anyone's Legends, you know, it is cool. Shanks at his first international. True. Kyle, I got very excited. I was like, oh, he's a superstar for the team. Maybe that's a little extreme, but he's very good for the team. And him being up here, you know, at an international, also really cool, because both of them have gotten close in the past, but
Oh, goes in for the knockup. There's the charm quickness coming out as well as Masu walks away. Busio getting charmed up, but in the end, Kyle and Hope will just disengage. The trade of summoners, just the quickness and the heal out from Busio.
All right, still stacking up. Masu here in the mid lane in Vancouver. Very good start to the game for him. Lots of stacks here. Yep. Once you get your static shiv is really when you feel nice with that. But now that he's up to the rapid fire as well, you know, such long range, can play a lot safer. Use your shroud to really remain far back. Don't let that Rakan get into range for you. Of course, it can be hard when the Rakan has flash, but That is definitely going to be the goal, and they've got the safety of that Whippo ultimate to rely on too.
Yeah, they have a lot of distraction tactics if anyone's legend decide to all in onto Masu or onto Quad. You've got the Magnet Storm, you've got the Hero's Entrance, you've got Inspired jumping over the top. Shockwave even is a self-disengage tool as required. For the moment, FlyQuest in a very solid spot. For anyone legend, they are still scaling. Zaya so strong as the game goes on. Tarzan in a really strong position himself as well as Masu trades onto Hope. Weaver's Wall coming out. Masu on the wrong side of it as Kyle looks for the engage. Hero's Entrance coming out as well. Masu able to sidestep all of the engage from anyone's legend. Tarzan separated from his team. Whippo down to half HP, but he's still damn tanky. Quad comes in looking for Tarzan towards the top side. Can't quite find what he was looking for there. The Rift held down, and it's a fight to stop this from getting the charge in. Quad oversteps a little bit. Shockwave only lands onto Kyle. Rift charges in. Busio on the backline goes out with the Magnet Storm, trying to retreat. The tower still stands, as does everyone on the Rift. Tarzan tries to change it as the seismic shove finds its mark. Masu falls, and FlyQuest now with a man advantage can push in for the first tower of the game.
Wow, that was
second tower of the game.
Impressive for them to get all the way in there and actually find that seismic shove and get the kill onto the center we were just talking about. And Shanks is able to cash in. Wow, getting that objective down too, getting that tower, definitely going to be really big here for AL. Again, they rely so much on these plays and using this big extra damage. All right, second item start to come in for them as well.
And you see how quickly things swing in a game like this. When both the teams really want to fight, they're not looking for too much side lane pressure. The gold has now swung by about 2,000 back towards AL. FlyQuest still have a 1,000 gold lead, but it's nowhere near as substantial as it was just a couple of minutes ago. Busio forced out of the jungle here as Kyle tries to get vision control for the Artican.
Shanks just going to back off after pushing the wave up there, and they can... Oh, wait, he actually cancels his recall here, looking for a little bit deeper vision, possibly.
Kyle maybe just wants the support. You can see Tarzan on his way up towards this top side as well, but there's still vision around there for FlyQuest, so they will know if the Artican has been begun by anyone's legend.
Yeah. Tarzan camping the brush. Should be just fine, though, of course, here. So really want to look at the next dragon spawn. Everybody here concerned about the Otacon first, though.
Oh, Busio knocked up here. Hope getting forced away by Masu once again. Inspired on the chase. Quad coming in from the side. Crescent Guard going out. Tarzan goes forward. Here is entrance used. Tarzan able to escape it. Hope with a Feather Storm to escape the shockwave. Now Whippo's on the front line as anyone's legends begin to collapse. The equalizer out. Whippo down to half HP. The chase in with the Grand Star. Fallen Blanche has to flash away, but he can't escape the clutches of Inspired. Masu gets the kill. Great double Magnet Storm from Busio as FlyQuest starts to turn the fight around. They find two. They're looking for more. Inspired chased out by Shanks. But Busio could look for a little bit more here. The remount may be enough. Masu on the chase for Hope, and he finds it. Extinguished is Hope for anyone's legends. Shanks now caught out in the blue side jungle, and with FlyQuest collapsing, I think there's no escape for the AL mid laner.
Yeah, Shanks is the last one left alive, and all of FlyQuest are coming to chase him down. 4 members will be enough. Busio actually takes it. A little bit less than ideal, but they're hyped up. They're going to be able to get the top side as well during the same time because Whippo up there pushing on the Galio, and the power of the FlyQuest team fight medic is really shining here and taking over in this game.
Their ability to delay and delay and delay is just so strong. You can see the Weaver's Wall coming in here. Hope with a great dodge of the Feather Storm from the Shockwave.
Yeah, okay, on the front line there, then Whippo buys so much time on his Galio, and the Rumble Ultimate only kind of touching him, so they go for the re-engage off of Inspired first, and you called it as it happened. Busio with the flash play to go for the AL side on the bottom of the fight. They chase them down, and you can see here what it means in the opening game.
For FlyQuest, what a statement it would be to win a game like this, because it was close, and they are winning team fights, which is not something we often see from North American, from European teams against the LPL, against the LCK. Their hands are just better. The draft as well, obviously facilitating them to get to that point.
I think that's a big thing here. The draft, so much CC and so much tankiness as far as the advantage here for FlyQuest, but the Otacon is getting burned down, so they're forcing the issue here.
Whippo's going to try and get into the middle of them. Kyle trying to block him. The Otacon secured. Tarzan taunted up. Busio there with the Shattering Strike stun as well. No tower here to defend AL. The Weaver's Wall, though, will split up the fight. AL, are you retreating? Are you attacking? That's the question. They look for Whippo, they can't find him, and now Masu has that flank position. Busio goes in, there's the Magnastorm, only lands on 2. Kyle able to dodge away and gets the charm onto Whippo to stop the hero's entrance. Dawning Shadow coming out, there's the Feather Storm, but the Shockwave still lands, and FlyQuest are hungry for blood. They're chasing forward. Hope's gonna fall as well. A triple already for Quad. Tarzan flashes away, but where can you escape to? The Grand Starfall coming out. Masu looking for the chase, and Tarzan will find no mercy from FlyQuest.
FlyQuest, they've got him cornered here in the alcove, and they get the ace, which will turn into the Baron. Game number 1 here. Home field advantage for FlyQuest showing up, and they have it under control.
7,000 gold ahead when this Baron falls. 26 minutes in, there's a Mountain Soul for them in 3 minutes time. Make it 8K the lead here for FlyQuest in Vancouver.
Okay, so here's another look at it. And as you called out, they're looking to close the pincer here for FlyQuest, and the only key is don't rush it. Otherwise, AL could turn on one side and force it. As long as FlyQuest are patient, though, they can, again, just go straight through the front line here, since AL are so much squishier. And Whippo here really doing a good job, just forcing his way into the front line after Busio had started it out, and they're able to walk forward and clean up the rest of the team fight. Huge stuff here, playing with confidence on the stage.
Like, it looks close at the start of a team fight, and then FlyQuest just bulldozer over AL at every opportunity now. They are showing AL just what the LTA North is all about. Busio trying to get some vision in as the push for the tier 2 on the bot side begins. With 2 minutes on the Drake, getting mid and bot pushed up for FlyQuest should be their next objectives.
Also putting up some big numbers here on the Senna. Going to be playing from very, very far away here, continuing to stack up, continue to play at range, and let's see how they actually close with this Baron buff. 4-1 split push for now, keeping Whippo here in the mid lane. Of course, they have the Pantheon. Inspired, you can see him in jungle, ready to cover either side if AL try and pull the trigger. Not going to do so just yet, though, so FlyQuest move in. Slowly get some extra advantages here. These secondary towers on the side can be kind of trapped sometimes as far as the positioning for those team fights, so don't want to get too risky there.
I've seen many a good game die to an over push towards that bot inhibitor. Shanks caught out here as entrance going down, slice of shove only onto Whippo, and it won't be enough. He's tanky. Absolutely tanking them for days. FlyQuest, Whippo's health bar hasn't even moved, and Shanks has to retreat.
Yeah. And we touched on it a little bit, but Shank's timeline here is cool to see him on the international stage, but it is his first. And so opening game here for AL. Again, look at, in the LDL, he was hyped up. He got LDL MVP in 2020. And then on the 2021 roster with WE, they actually did get close to qualifying for Worlds, but they got knocked out by LNG right before. And then it was many years. Didn't get close again, but here on his second year with AL on the international stage now, we'll see if they can do anything to pull this one back.
Back the Magnastorm immediately. Dawning Shadow coming out. Kyle's going back with the charm. The seismic shove's good, but they just have wallets that are too damn big. FlyQuest chasing in. It's a double already for them. Tarzan in the middle of 3. He'll fall as well. Inspired goes a little bit deep, but so far it's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of FlyQuest.
FlyQuest, all that's left is to push in. Whippo gonna chase the last remnants of AL here down.
All he's doing is delaying. You've got Masu and Busio pushing through mid. The TP comes out and will get back to those Nexus towers with Shanks here to defend. I don't think FlyQuest can push for the win, although opening up the base is a FlyQuest special. I've seen them win with minions and win with the TP tech before. There's a Mountain Soul for them, and so just taking the inhibitor tower for now is enough.
Yeah, take that. Just walk back, pick up the extra dragon here. The soul will be in FlyQuest's hands. This is only 29, almost 30 minutes into the game, but they have so much control with these team comps of being so tanky. A Mountain Soul on top of it.
This is a shellacking.
Yeah.
Like, it was close in the early game, but as soon as FlyQuest's composition came online truly, it has not looked close at all.
Yeah.
This is domination from the North American representatives here.
Game number 1 for each of these teams on this stage. And FlyQuest, this will be a nice confidence-building one. Again, this team sticking together meant that of the current teams playing, because all the other teams did make changes, this roster, currently the roster that have been playing together the longest.
Yep.
And so they're really showing some of that synergy that they have been able to build up with each other.
And the trust as well that comes from it. Like, there's a few fights where you see Bwipo just constantly stepping forward, and it's like if the rest of the team doesn't trust him in that moment, he's just going to be isolated. He's going to be left on his own in the middle of anyone's legend. But now, FlyQuest, a 10,000 gold lead at 31 minutes, are kind of dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're taking their time. There's a Baron up in a minute's time. They don't have to overforce here into AL.
I mean, they've got Guardian Angel on Inspired here, on Pantheon, so they have an extra life they could use if they wanted to overforce, but as you say, because they are so strong, it should be fairly straightforward. Just wait for the Baron, set up, and then if AL come forward, you can turn.
Busio knocked back. It's a pretty big shield there. So Bwipo knocked back. It's a pretty big shield there, as he is then protected by Quad to make sure he basically doesn't lose any HP.
Gonna take over the jungle here first to see the approach, just in case AL try and do anything fancy, but shouldn't overextend or anything like that, as you say, since they have it under control. Should be smooth from here on out. The ping's actually going down on red buff. I think maybe that's the smallest thing there that AL can still get while FlyQuest do their Baron, and that makes me think, you know what, they're just going to try and hope for that miracle fight at their base for AL, and hope that they can get an angle for some sort of defense there.
The other option is hope that FlyQuest delay the game a little bit too much, and then you look for an Elder Flip, right? When it's 4 minutes away still, you can give up an inhibitor and still try and force a fight around that Elder. FlyQuest have started up the Baron, but have stopped it. The Weaver's Wall comes out. Inspired and Quad on one side of it, the rest of FlyQuest on the other, but it's much ado about nothing as AL can't find an avenue to engage. Kyle steps forward and dodges away from the command attack.
All right, very antsy to pull off of this Baron, but with that Weaver's Wall going down, didn't want anything to happen, so they just wait around for the...
Quad get hit?
Yes, gets the stop.
Kyle now pops the quickness, only gets the charm onto Busio. Shadowing Strike's going to hit as well. There's the Shockwave, the Magnet Storm, in fact, to bring it back. Quad goes godlike, yet to die here. 7-0-13. A Baron in FlyQuest's eyes, and AL can do nothing about it.
Yeah, FlyQuest chase him down. Kyle has been so good in the LPL. FlyQuest, though, with this game, they've just had such a massive advantage that they should be able to steamroll.
It's weird to say should, because I understand where it comes from. But if this was Gen G versus anyone else, we'd say it's done. It's over. They're like, FlyQuest have won this game. They are 12,000 gold ahead.
I'll say it.
Yeah. Like, there is no feasible comeback for AL. The only way AL get back into this game is a sequence of throws from FlyQuest that I haven't seen since I watched an NFL game, okay?
So what you're saying is you believe in the magic.
If AL can pull this one out of their butts, then I believe in the magic, and I feel that FlyQuest perhaps will be a little bit tilted going into game 2. For now, though, they are in prime position to close out this game and take a 1-0 lead versus the LPL's first seed. Shanks' flash.
Yeah. And just from Oriana walking to side lane as well here, so FlyQuest moving out with the confidence. Of course, they can play all lanes right now, since they do have Bwipo Teleport and Bwipo Ultimate available. AL may try and go for something, seeing that both solo laners are fully pushing waves right now, but FlyQuest still have plenty of tools to collapse. And with the Mountain Soul, it just takes too long for AL to kill anyone. And so they might even get trapped themselves.
Well, Tarzan's going to jump onto Busio. I've seen this story before, Kobe. Bwipo is split pushing. There's a teleport available for Quad, but the Hero's Entrance coming in from Bwipo. As already Tarzan falling low, healed up, and the Redemption coming out will pop him up. The Dawning Shadow enough to take him down, though. Kyle next up. Feathers storm forward, but Quad surviving through an absolute age. Grand Star full is the death of AL here. FlyQuest clean it up. Bwipo TP's back to bot. and the win is here for FLYQuest.
FLYQuest in the opening game. The team play is here. What a draft. They're going to take number 1.
Here in Vancouver on home turf in front of friends and family, FLYQuest come out fighting 1-0 NA.
Wow. Big stuff here. Of course, we did see yesterday as well, Gen G, the #1 seed from LC.